Hi, this is Tom Sedlak, General Manager at 33rd Company Property Management, Kansas City. Thanks so much for watching our video podcast series. Today's topic is, do my tenants need renter's insurance in Kansas City? The short answer to that, of course, is yes. In fact, not only is it yes, but we make it a requirement of the lease agreement that tenants have property and liability coverage while they're renting a property from us. The reason is pretty simple. It protects the tenants, it protects the property, it protects the owner and the property manager, it protects all the parties involved, and it's an absolute need that it be required under the lease agreement. Here's a short story for you. Recently there was a fire in a home that we managed from lightning. And it was in the evening, the fire department came, they doused the flames. The roof had a huge hole in it from the fire, and the interior of the home was significantly damaged from the water from both the rain and from the fire department's efforts in putting the fire out. In short, the house was completely uninhabitable. The tenants, of course, had renter's insurance with 33rd Company. They were required under their lease, and they filed a claim with their insurance agent, and it covered their moving costs, it covered their temporary living costs, it covered damage to their personal property, which was significant, and it would have also covered medical issues had any of them arisen. Fortunately, this story had a happy ending that there were no injuries in the property. It was only personal property that was damaged. An owner's policy typically does not cover tenant liability. If you've got a rental dwelling coverage policy, if you've got a BOP business owner policy or a DP3, typically that's not going to extend coverage to either liability or the property on the part of the tenant. It will include and cover lost rental income for the abrupt vacancy, but it does not cover the tenant. And that's why it's very important for owners to make sure that they also have adequate liability insurance to cover themselves in the event that the tenant has insufficient coverage, or there are exclusions or limitations in the tenant's coverage, or the tenant's insurance company somehow elects to push back and not cover a particular claim or issue. So it's additionally important that owners understand the mechanisms of the insurance requirements and also get a good general liability policy that also extends coverage to the property manager as an additional insured. And that way you know you can sleep at night because your first line of defense is the requirement for the tenants to be covered, and your second line of defense is your own general liability insurance, which should give you all the peace of mind you need in the event that an issue arises. So there are very good reasons for tenants to get renter's insurance. If you're a tenant out there listening to this podcast, here are 6 quick reasons why you need renter's insurance for your own peace of mind and coverage. First of all, tenant insurance is extremely inexpensive. Renter's insurance costs generally about $20 a month depending on the number of occupants and the elected coverage amounts and inclusions in the policy that you pick up. Sometimes you get a discount if it's the same insurer that covers your auto insurance as well. Renter's insurance covers personal property from most perils. There are some exclusions in some policies, so make sure you check for the perils, whether flood, for instance, would cover any damages to your property. It's required under the lease. More and more property managers are requiring that tenants pick up renter's insurance and require it as part of their lease agreement. The liability coverage, I think, is probably one of the biggest reasons that you want to get it. Personal property can be replaced over time, but if there's an injury or damage or death to a person, you want to make sure that you've got liability coverage so that you're covered in the event of a significant medical bills and of an issue. Renter's insurance also covers the belongings of a tenant when they're traveling. So if you're away from your property and there's damage or theft, that would also be a covered amount under tenant renter's insurance policy. Renter's insurance may also cover additional expenses like moving or living expenses if you're abruptly displaced from a home after it becomes uninhabitable. So there are a lot of reasons for tenants to get renter's insurance, just as many reasons for owners to require renter's insurance, and in general, having it is a very cost-effective way to mitigate risk and liability for all parties involved in a rental situation. Thanks so much for listening to this podcast. For more information on rentals and property management in the Kansas City metro area, please visit our website at www.33rdcompanykansascity.com. Thanks so much.